In the previous two videos, we completed chapter 9 and also chapter 10. So, now we are going to conduct the content marketing chapter, that is chapter 11. So, so after completing this chapter, so all the chapters have been completed, then thereafter we will go for revision lectures of the other chapters from chapter 1 to chapter 8. Right. So, let us talk about what this content marketing is. Content marketing. Content marketing is a marketing technique of creating and distributing valuable and relevant and consistent content to attract and acquire a clearly defined audience. So, in the content marketing, there is a target audience. Audience may be you. So, why do they do this? Their objective was driving profitable customer action. So, let us say if you take a piece of paper, newspaper, that will have a content. There can be so many articles which is written by so many writers, and there are pictorial article also, without pictures also there. So, there is a content. Likewise, in marketing, so there are so many content involved. So, that content is used to market in the marketplace. So, this content marketing that will create and distribute a value. So, in the content there is a value and it should be relevant. So, if it is not relevant to you, you are not looking at the content, but the content which come through whatever the way. So, let us say news article or piece of paper or TV advertisement or, so there is a relevancy to you. If it is relevant to you, you will read it. And that should be very consistent. And also the important thing is that should attract and acquire you. So, if it is not attractive, what will happen is you will feel that it is an unwanted article or something. So, when you are launching some product, when you are marketing some product, what you are doing is you create some content and market. So, that content must have a value and also that should attract. There is a relevancy for you to read that one, and now after reading that one you will tend to buy the product. So, there is an audience. So, content marketing always looking at the audience. So, they are prepared to reach that audience. So, let us say there is a article that the organization write, it explain about cancer patient disease. So, all the cancer patient know is their relatives will read this if they see this. So, there is a value for those relatives of those cancer patients, because they know that their relatives, the person is in illness with the cancer. So, there is a value created because of the relativity, relevancy and also attractiveness. They will read that. So, it ultimately giving the objective of driving profitable customer actions. So, customer should react to the content that you are marketing. So, it is all about content marketing. So, there are type of content marketing. So, I'll explain each of these types, such as blogging, videos, infographics, case studies and white papers, e-books, checklists, social media and was like that. So, when you see these types, you will be getting understand about what the content marketing is. Okay. Let's go to blogging. What's mean by blogging? A blog is an online journal or information website displaying information in the reverse technological order with the latest post appearing. So, already you may log into the blogs. It's a kind of a website that has some articles written there. So, your organization that you are working for, as a you are maybe in the marketing team. So, there are some comments. So, so before the comments you may have uploaded some articles. So, in there that somebody will comment on that. It's like in brief we can explain, it's a platform where a writer or a group of writers share their views on an individual subject. So, there is a subject, based on subject, let us say as an executive cancer patient, or let us say these days COVID-19 situation. So, and there is a group of people or one person, it can be a writer or group of writers. So, they are sharing their views. So, somebody will say because of the foods that we eat, cancer will be come into their body. So, and somebody other say not only the food that we are eating, also the drinking water will also affect to the cancer. So, likewise different people will comment in the blogs. So, it's a platform, let's say it's like a website. So, I'll show you a one blog. So, in this blog, this is a blog, right? So, there are other 3 links I have given, you can refer to those. And when you go there, that you can see that there, so some people have published some of the articles. So, then if you go to this one, let us say there are 2 comments, right. Right, in that article, there are 2 people have said it's a great article, somebody say some opinions, likewise. So, in the blogs, people can comments. So, now you learn about what is the blogging is. Let us go to the next one. So, social video marketing is a component of an integrated marketing. So, video marketing, what is mean by video? So previous I said earlier that we have uploaded 2 videos of this webinar. Likewise, the video is a thing that captured from the camera. So, organization can create videos. So, video is created. So, social media marketing is a component of an integrated marketing communication plans designed to increase audience engagement through social activity around a given video. Once you created a video by using different people, and also can include so many graphic contents, and you created a video, then you upload it to the YouTube or wherever it is possible, sometimes Facebook or in the online platform. So then there is an audience that will attract with the video. So those are kind of video marketing. So that engage the audience around a given video. So we will go to this YouTube video. This is a kind of video that explain about a hotel. So I am not going to show you all the full video, so I stop at some time. So this video shows about the hotel and how the foods are serving and what are the facilities are having, and also that when you see that you will feel to go there. So it's a kind of marketing technique. So through the video that you are going to create some content and then you are going to market that one. Then ultimately before you go into this hotel, you know what are the things that they are giving, what are the facilities you will be getting. So then you will be aware of about this hotel. So likewise, so those videos can be developed by the organization. Let's say CSE Lanka creating a video. That video will explain about the facilities given by the CSE Lanka and also what techniques are used to deliver the syllabus to the student, and what are the examinations are having, what is the technology that the CSE Lanka is using. So kind of a video that can be created, then that can be uploaded, then the people will see this and feel the facilities that we are giving, and also not only this kind of video for a, let's say for a product like car, BMW have invested established created a very good new car. So it came into the market. So there is a video that says, that shows everything what they have developed. It shows about the facilities that has, and also engine capacity, the look and feel, and also interior, and the technology they have used. So everything is explained in this video. So when you publish this video in the online platforms, the people will see this. Then ultimately you will be reaching your marketing goal. So let's talk about infographics. Infographics, and infographics is a collection of imagery, charts and minimal text that gives an easy to understand overview of a topic. So it's a kind of I'll write in on the board. You can see, let's say this is the infographic content you are going to develop, right. Using graph, you will show what is the percentage of, let's say, market share you are having, like, right. Or in a graphical content, this is 40%, 30% and 20. Likewise, that will show in this kind of a graph, and also some of the details that you provide. Let's say you provide a car like this, and that will give some information. Likewise, the information that you need to deliver to the customer can be placed in this document. It's a email, let's say it's a kind of a page, can be like a A4 sheet that gives all the information about the organization, and also if you are going to launch a product, that product information can be placed there. So, it's actually a graphical thing that provide for the customers to understand about the information. So, in this infographics word also, there are two things combined together, that is called info and then graphics. So, in here also we have explained. So, it is a collection of imagery. There can be images, there can be charts, there can be minimal text. Minimal text, it means they do not put more text, they do not put any wordings like that. They put very minimal text, very small number of words are given, and then it is easy to understand overview of a topic. So, you are going to talk about a topic that can be regarding new launching of BMW car, or whatever the product that you are selling in your organization. So, you want to market it using infographics. So, there is a special topics, fuel efficiency car. Then there are imageries, chart and also text. So, that is easy to understand directly. So, and also in the you may have seen in the newspapers, there are some cartoon pictures. When you see the cartoon, the information that you can see from the cartoon, just looking at the cartoon you can see what he is telling. So, likewise, it is a kind of graphical interface which provide more information to you that can be easily understandable. Case studies. What is this case studies? To have a case study, there should be a case. That can be an issue, especially for the issues, this kind of things are developed. A case study is a detailed study of a specific subject, such as a person, group, place, event, organization, a phenomenon. Case studies are commonly used in social, educational, clinical and business researchers. Actually, let us say as an example, we will take the electric car that developed by I think Nissan or some other brand. So, they launched that product into the market. Then customer bought it by looking at the efficiency, but it is a failure for the Sri Lanka. I do not know now, these days people are not going to buy electric cars. So, there is a case. What is that? The electric car has a issue. So, that is why they are not buying, otherwise that gives a very good fuel efficiency, that does not need fuel. Actually, it is a cost saving, and also you are able to buy it at a very low cost earlier, but nowadays some people have introduced very good, very new electric cars as well. So, there is a case with that car. So, such kind of studies can be done by the organization. Let us say there is a product which is failing in the market, that is not successful. So, even though the other products are giving a very big income, the product that you are looking for, that is not giving a very good income. So, it is always failing. So, there is a case. Why it is failing? There is an issue. So, in such a cases company can study what is that. So these case studies are used for marketing. So, how do you use for marketing? Let us say you study on a specific subject that is needed by the customers. Let us say about how to be a healthy person. So, or else cancer patient or kidney patients. So, about that you study. So, in a given area of the country. So, let us say in Colombo area or Anuradhapura, let us say Anuradhapura, Polonnaru, in the Polonnaru area. So, most of the people who are living in that area getting kidney disease. So, why is that? There is a case. So, you study it, then you are giving some treatment. That treatment will give some benefit to your organization. So, you are going to market that, and also sometimes you will let us say you are a pharmacy organization. So, you are doing this case study, you are publishing it in your website and also in Facebook and YouTube, and then people will see that and your brand name will be appeared. Then they will tend to know, they will know that this is a good brand and they are doing this kind of a case study and informing the student, informing the customer about their situation. So, such kind of things can be done. White papers. A white paper is a in-depth report or guide about a specific topic. White papers. What is this white papers? It is a in-depth report or guide about a specific topic and the problems that surround it. It means to educate readers and help them to understand and solve an issue. So, it is actually you may have seen about, you may have heard about research. There can be researches on some specific subject. So, after doing the research, you will have some findings. So, there are some findings. So, those findings will be collated together and you will develop one white paper that talk about in brief what does this research say. So, it is like a real true story about the incident, about the issue. So, then normally rather than reading a full research, most of the people are looking for white papers. Then by looking the white papers, they can see the output of the research and then automatically they will know. So, why this required for an organization to market? As I said you in the case study also, the organization can do some case studies and also organization can do some researches about some products. Now, if you eat apple daily, will there be a disease that you will be getting? So, sometimes about some problems in Sri Lanka and about product failure in the company, and you can research on that. After doing the research, you can brief it to the customers through a white papers. So, your papers will be reading by customers. So, ultimately you will be marketing your products. There can be two types of white papers: background and problem solution. What is the background is benefits of their product, service, methodologies are explained. These kind of things are normally used by most of the product launching the organization. There can be different product that they are put into the market. So, they research about what their products offer to the customer, whether it is beneficial to them and what are the benefits they are getting. and regarding lot of products, the organization can do some researches. And problem solutions, walk the audience through the solution to a problem that's common in their industry. So, there can be a kind of problems that occurs in the industry. So, in order to solve that problem, you give a solution. So, that solution are type of white papers, that is problem solution. So, you are giving a solution to a problem. White papers build trust, boost sales, lead generations. So, when you are developing a white papers and publish it to the market, people will read and they build a trust among you. Your organization may have published it, then people will read it and make a trust with this company. And when they are making a trust, and they will memorize they will remember the brand name, then they will go to the shop and going to buy something else, then they see this product, then they will have a likeness, okay, this is a very good company, so why don't I purchase this product? Do I need this? Yes, I need this, then they will purchase, then that will boost sales, and that will go help for lead generation. Lead generation is the volume of sales that can be generated through these white papers. These are kind of real facts. These two things, case studies and white papers, these are kind of real facts that you are going to the giving to the people. The people will trust about you and buy your products. Checklist. What are these checklists? Let's talk about checklist. Can offer the organization excellent value as they are quick and easy to comply. Utilize within blogs, other posts, required feedback from the user, which can provide excellent insight for the organization with regard to preferences. So, you may have seen that when you log into some website, there are some checklists that you have to fill. So, you will be putting your details there. So, you will be saving those things, then the company will get those information. And also sometime before you enter some secured website, sometime they will ask for authenticated purpose, they will ask about more details. Then once you publish that, that will goes to a admin and he will approve it and then you can access. So, there can be checklists that you fill the information and feed. So, when there is a checklist, do you feel to enter details? So, it is like a hassle to you. You will feel that, oh, this is wasting of time. So, why should I fill this one? I want to see the product, but they are asking some other information. So, let us say like this. Sometimes when you want to select a product, he will ask, do you want to select a product, right? So, I am telling about the good way of allowing the people to fill the checklist. So, always they are not willing to fill the checklist. So, when you log into such website, they will say, oh, what's your problem? You select the problem you want. Then you will select, I want to buy a fuel efficiency car. So, you are selecting that question. So, in the drop down box, those question will be there. Then once you select it, he will ask for other details. What color of the car you want, and what kind of engine capacity, and where are you located, and ultimately they will ask your birthday even. And but you don't know why they require this information. So, you are filling all this information and feed. So, in order to do that, you must use easy to use visuals that allow the user to complete them easily. So, easy to use visuals. If there are visual that is given, but it is not displaying well, so there is no use of putting that in the website. So, those visuals should be easily viewable and easy to use, and also you have to when navigating through the checklist, it should be easy navigational method. There should be easy navigational method you have implemented. Can provide incentives for the user to complete the checklist. Once you complete it, you can allow some discount or kind of benefits that you can provide. An example, provide a discount code, multiple coupon as part of an overall offer. So, once you are filling this information, so you will be ultimately getting a 10% discount. Sometimes small gift can be sent via house. Likewise, you can offer different things to attract the customer to the product website. So, that can be done through checklists, right. So, let us talk about e-books. What is this e-books is? You may have gone to the library in CSE Lanka. There are so many books available. CSE Lanka also may have some e-libraries. So, you may log into the e-library and you see the books which have uploaded in the system as a soft copy. In the digital mode, it is there. Normally, most of the e-books are available in PDF mode. It is a book publication made available in digital form. So, there is a form. What is the digital modes? The books are available, consisting of text, images, so both readable on the computer and other electronic devices. So, it is easily readable in the computer. So, those are called e-books. So, if you go to Amazon or some kind of a website, you can refer to the books. They will give some prices to pay, and then once you pay, they will give you the access to the e-books. So, there are some e-libraries. Most of the universities have taken those access. So, student can log into that, get some books downloaded, or some of the books can be referred. So, and also the other one is social media posts, including videos, link and interviews. Social media posts also, these things you may already be aware of this. So, we talk about type of content marketing. So, it is finished now. Then go to the communication part of strategic. What is strategic communication important? Why is strategic communication is important? The benefit of a communication strategy within an organization are uncountable. Communication that is uncountable. Why is that? Because it is such more important. It is more important. If there is no very good communication strategy implemented in the organization, ultimately you are not communicating the content to the relevant people. So, there are benefits of that communication strategy. So, there are so many benefits, not only one. Effective communication strategies in business can help organizations to do what? Improve the overall productivity of the workplace, create a positive presence, and instill a sense of trust among employees. Content plan is a key to clear corporate communication. Content plan. So, you have to plan the content. If you have planned the content, so it is like a key to communicate in the cooperative environment. So, I think that in the board that I will explain, then maybe it will be clear to you. So, in a office, let us say CSC Lanka or somewhere, CEO is there. Then there can be division heads, and under that there can be managers, and then executives, and then clerk, and there are office assistant, and there are so many people. So, if the organization is having a very good communication, that can flow from this to the here and here, likewise that will be flowing. So, if your organization is keeping some kind of important thing as secret, then sometimes these managers will never know about those details. So, that is the content. So, only these people will know about that one. They will never communicate this, but the wrong information can be goes to whom? Through them, customers. So, to the customers the information can flow in a wrong way. So, wrong information can flow, but if the organization is having a very good communication, so all the information will be goes to each and every person with the required information, right. There are some information that should not be communicated to somebody, some people, that is not relevant. So, the relevant things can be shared. So, those things can improve what? Productivity of the workforce, and that create a positive present for the organization in the market, because everybody will trust the organization, and ultimately that trust will go to the market as well, and sense of trust among employees. So, every employee is trusting trusting each other, then they do not have anything to hide. And let us say one product is going to market into the market, but there are some malfeatures. But if you are not telling about the truth of the product, this may have this kind of some small problems. If you are not educating your employees well, ultimately they will tell different stories to the customer. When they complain, they will tell different stories. But if you have communicated it to your employees well, this may have this kind of features, has malfunctioning features, and that is what we have given this as at the low cost, and there are some other product which has given with the higher cost, and those who require with good features, they can go and buy that one, or else they can purchase this low cost product. So, if it is communicated well to your organization from the top to bottom, so the employees who work in the organization is understanding, okay, this has these issues. So, they will clearly explain the required thing to the customer. So, there will not be any problem there. So, I hope that you understand about what is strategic communication is and why it is important. The challenges: the organization can fail when implementing a content marketing strategy due to various reasons. The companies can have more challenges. What are those challenges? We will talk about those things. Producing the kind of content that engages prospect customers. So, when you are developing a content in the company as per the content marketing strategy, so there is a cost involvement, that is to produce the content. So, as a percentage that can be around 40%, that is the higher volume of percentage, and also producing enough content. So, producing enough content, that is 20%, budget to produce content, that is 18%, lack of buy-in vision form high up inside your company, that is this much. So, likewise there are so many challenges the organization will face, and if the organization is failing in such situation, there can be some issues. It may be because of there is no good strategy or not investing enough time. So, you have to invest enough time for the content marketing. If you are not doing so, the product that you are going to market can be a loss. So, there should be a good strategy. So, if there are no strategies, what will happen? Ultimately, the content marketing strategy will fail. And you must allocate much more time for planning there. And content is boring. When you look at the content, at once that you feel, oh, it's a boring content, you don't like to see that one. Sometimes the colors that the content developer has used is boring. So, you may not tend to see this visual materials. And unrealistic expectations. So, you are expecting much more than the actual. So, that will be failing then. Creating but not promoting. You have created the content, but you have not promoted it. You may have created and you kept it in the computer, but you have not posted it to the market. You have not posted it to the customer. So, ultimately, without having publicity of the content, that will be failing. Ignoring the analytics. So, there can be different analytics, let us say geographical wise and also age wise, so consumer wise. So, there can be different statistics that you may have seen, that can be taken through Google Analytics and Google Insight, or there are different methods, or through the questionnaire or over research you have taken so many details. So, you have analytics, but you are ignoring this, you do not care about those things, but you develop the content. So, you have to analyze those requirements which is taken through the research or in whatever the way. So, according to that you have to develop the content. Otherwise, what will happen is you are developing very nice content, but that does not reach to the customer will. They do not accept, because you are ignoring the requirement of them. So, those requirements can be taken through analysis. Writing for the wrong audience. Maybe you are addressing, you may need to develop that content to the Colombo people, but what you have developed is relevant for very rural area people. Oh, the content that you have developed for Colombo people can not be suitable for some of the rural area people, because they do not need those information. they do not need those products. Therefore, the target audience is very much concerned when developing a content. Let us say in religion wise also, in some places when developing the content, those things can be considered, right. Otherwise, there can be many issues coming into the organization and also difficulty in niche market. So, these things you may understand well. So, okay, so the challenges are explained here. So, why it is failing, it also explained here. No strategy, no investing enough time, and contents is boring, unrealistic expectation, creating but not promoting, ignorant in the analytics, writing for the wrong audience, and in a difficult niche, it is a difficult market segment. So, let us go to a content marketing business model. There is a model for this. For the content marketing, there is a business model. So, content marketing business model is a way of formalizing the strategy into business. There is a method of doing that using dedicated business processes. So, let us see those models. There are 4 types: performer, player, platform, processor. So, performer, content as center of excellence, content as contributor. So, there is a content that works as center of excellence. I will explain in details in the next slides. So, content as a contributor and content as integrated business, content as a service. So, these are the 4 types, and so this is the graphical interface that we have. Before we look into this, we will go to each and every the slides about this model. So, what is this model? This is player model. It is like content as contributors. This model is primarily seen as a supporting element of integrated marketing campaign, including traditional billboard, newspapers and magazine advertisement, and television and radio commercials. So, this is actually good for startup companies and small companies. So, it is working as a supporting element. Many organizations begins content marketing using this model. This model is used by new startups. Let us say once the new organization started initially. So, this model can be implemented. So, content marketing, the things that you are going to distribute to the people as a content, that will go under this model. So, this is actually most common in all the marketing platforms. So, it can manage by easily 2 or 3 people. So, these are kind of features you can remember. So, in the question paper also they may have there is an organization which start initially. So, what is the best model that you content marketing model that you can use, that you propose as a CEO of the organization? What is the best content marketing model that you are going to posit? That is player model. Likewise, there is a most common models. Common model is, then you can say player model. So, these features that you can understand, then it is easy for you to answer the question paper. So, likewise, read as an example, read how software company Symantec evolved. Symantec also do this, they started with this player model, and you can read this article also. So, this is a as explained that this usually used for startup companies, right. So, when you are reading when you are understanding others model also, so you will see the difference of this one. Performer, content as center of excellence. What is the center of excellence? We read about this again. Center of excellence, what is that? It's a centralized operation for all of the company's content marketing. There is a centralized operations, not individuals are doing, right. So, center of excellence is established in the organization. That is why this name is given there. The primary driver, what does mean? The performer, the primary driver for this content marketing model is providing external audience with direct access to interesting content. They are targeting the external audience. So, this is a good feature that you can understand in this model. So, that is targeting the external audience. And the marketing department then use it relationship. So, the relationship that has with the external audience will be used by the marketing people. So, it is to reach the marketing goals and communication goals. So, this feature that you have to identify well. Marketing goal is a build addressable audience through own media platform or external platform. So, you may have your own media, you may have your own Facebook account, website, or you may have different channel of marketing, and also external platform also you may have, and like others the marketing website like that, and such as Tech Talk, its own YouTube channel. So, you know what Tech Talk is? Let us say about some product, you are talking about that, you are expert on that, and there are some I think television events also. It's like the television also that they are telecasting this kind of tech talks. They are arranging some competitions also, and your own YouTube channel and also other social media. So, through these channels and also through tech talks, you are to the YouTube channels, you are addressing audience. So, what is your goal is? So, build addressable audience. If the audience is not addressable, if you cannot address the audience, there is no importance, right. So, you have to build the addressable audience. In this model, it will be doing. The focus is on building external audiences through content product. The focus is to build the external audience. That external audience will be built up through different platforms. So, you are collecting of the database actually. So, in this when you feel what is this when you see this performer model, exactly what should come to your mind is that is external audience. Through that you can imagine what is talk about this performer model. And editorial team may manage a resource center. So, there can be editorial teams. That team will manage a resource center or a dedicated blog, magazine, video channel. So likewise, there can be your own YouTube channel, your own Facebook channel, and different other the platform can be used. So, there is a team. That team is engaging in editing in various ways. The requirement of the company will be provided by this team. So, it is like a resource center, right. So, I think you have get a very good understanding about what the FOFO model is. Earlier we talked about the player that is good for the startup companies, right, that is supporting element, and it is most common thing. Player model is very common, and only by 2 or 3 people can manage. But when you go to FOFO model, what it comes first is external audience. It is building external audience using different platforms. So, so differentiation of these two models that you can understand, right. Then we talk about platform. What does mean this platform model? So, content as integrated business. There is a content as what? As a business, which is integrated business. In this model, actually an organization views content marketing as an integrated and fully functional business within the business where the marketing team is responsible for managing all aspects of media operations. The marketing team that will manage all aspects of media operation, and this is actually very good for a large organization, right. In this model, content marketing works alongside every operation and decisions. The content marketing that works on in every operation and decisions. So, all part of the business operation are fully understood, and at any one time to deliver a completely aligned marketing and communication strategy across all its operation across all traditional media and social media platform. So, it is available in every operations, in every decisions, right. So, it is mostly effective in very large organization as provides control over all its official communication. So, it has a very good control over all official communications. So, this is specially required for the established for very large organization, and also it has a revenue stream, right. Content is not only created as a marketing and sales tactic, but might be an integrated product or business strategy. So, content that you have developed in your organization can be a product, right. So, through that products you are that you are selling, and it gives a revenue also to your organization. So, when you see this platform model in the question paper, automatically what should come to your mind is very large organization are using this one, and it is available in all operation and decision of the organization, right. Based on the organization situation, so these model can be implemented, and also some of the organizations are already using this. Then you can identify this organization is fit into this model, platform model, player model, perform model, likewise. Let us talk about processor, the content as a service. In here, the direct team may take responsibility for some centralized content function, but not for the creation of content. Here they do not create the content, but in this model they are creating the content. So, they do not create the content, but they outsource it to product specialists. They have hired the product specialists from various disciplines. So, those people have engaged with the company and create the product that the company want. So, as an example we can understand by reading this. A high specification computer manufacturer will need some content which explain the complexity of the product features and speak the right language to a technical audience. So, using a right language, let us say that if you are talking in Tamil to the people who do not know Tamil, what will happen? You will be failing in that market. So, these things are created by technical experts. So, actually the company like that, not like very large companies, they can spend much more money for this in this platform model. But if the company does not have the sufficient resources, what they can do is they can hire the product specialist, the technical expert, and they can create their content without involving in much more for creation of the content. They can outsource. Actually, most of the companies have done this thing now, because you know that if you are going to create your own content and do it, sometime you will not be reaching the required things from the content that you are developing, because you are not an expert. But if you outsource to somebody else, those who are very expert in the industry, then also they are doing only that job. So, ultimately you will getting a very good content within the very nominal sum. Sometimes you may need to spend much more money for developing the content, and but if you outsource, sometimes you will get very low cost content, but there can be high quality, because they are those who have hired, they have the knowledge, they have sufficient resources, and you do not need to actually invest for resources to develop the content. They have their own resources, then they will do that one for you. They set standard for how content will be created and managed in the organization or by outsource agencies. So, there are standard, right. Let us say like the standard that you will explain, these are the only colors that, let us say CSE Lanka will use red color for its logo. And when you do some branding, when you are creating the content in newsletters or whatever the way, so you have set some standard. This is the way that you should do. And also let us say text, the text should be in this color, and the logo text should be in red color or white color. And also if you are writing an email also, you can tell that this should be the standard. So, when creating content, they are doing this. In the board that I will explain, that it will be clear to you. So, you need to create some content, right, using different graphical interfaces. You want to do this one. So, in order to do this, you hired expert. So, they have expert knowledge. And they have resources, and likewise they have different things. So, they are expert on that. So, you are asking this expert to do this on behalf of you. Right. Now, in order to do this content, you are giving the requirement. In the requirement, it's a content with good graphics, and also there is a audio, let us say sometimes audio can be there. Then you can the expert can hire a person with a very good voice, and also sometime for the some of the graphic license can be taken in order to use some pictures. So, you may have to do that, and also the size, let us say size of the content, and expiry also can be there. There are so many requirements, not like this. Then you know what your requirement is, then the expert is doing this one on behalf of you. Then this expert will come and take the idea and develop it. Ultimately, he will show this is the one, this is the final one, but you want this, they develop this one. Then what will happen? These thing does not match, not equal, right? But if you have set standard, you are setting standard, you want to do these things, and the logo color should be like this, and the text, font, size, and images, and wordings, and also the things that you have different standard. This color only this color, only red color should be used, or blue color, and text should be in what format. Likewise, you are giving the standard. Now you have a very good standard, you have set it. So if you give this standard, these people will know, this is the requirement. Then based on this requirement, they will develop the content, right. So that is what they are setting standard. Okay, I think that you get a very good understanding about this processor model. So we talk about these performer, platformer, play and processor. So you know about the different features of that one. So actually in the question paper, they will give some sometime some 2 or 3 paragraph will be given based on that meaning. So you will ask this organization will fit into which model, then you have select the one. So or else they will give a special feature of this one, then you have to identify it is equal to which model, right. Okay, so we finished about the content marketing business models. So let's talk about content maturity model. What is this content maturity model? Where do you fall? Right? Please remember what is this. We'll first understand about this one, then you will be automatically understand what does this mean. In the content maturity model, the maturity model helps the business understand how far along they are in terms of maturity and what they need to do to improve or develop their strategy. A content marketing maturity model measures the extent to which content decisions are driven by established and documented processes, standard, metrics within the marketing organization. Your organization may fit into some maturity phase, right? So, you have to evaluate your organization strength in content marketing, and you will be understanding where do you fall. You will be in which phase. So, there are 5 phases in the content maturity model. There are 5 phases, in which phase that you are fitting in. So, you have to clearly identify the features of these phases, and then you have to decide, okay, you are in this place. So, it is like you are understanding how mature you are. This is content maturity model. Let us say you are very matured person, your age is around 50, but you will be thinking like a teenage. But if you do so, then the behavior pattern also is, it's like not understanding to the others. So, there should be a matching. So, you are understanding where do you fall. So, let us go to the phase wise description. In the phase 1, in this content maturity model, let us talk about phase 1. What are the characteristics? Lack of uniform practices. That does not have much for uniform practices. So, in next slides that we will be talk about these phases in details. So, I will not going into detail about these phases in this slide, but in the next slides we will talk about that one. And phase 2, some content support structures are in place, right. So, in this some content support structure, there are staff committed to standard, and there is strong leadership is there. Leadership may change without loss of standard, commitment to the customer need. If there is change in the leadership, that does not affect to the organization. It means promote value of quality content throughout the company. They are promoting the value of content. How to progress? Initiate common process and standard, then go to the next phase, firm commitment to implement standard. So, firm is committed to implement standard, now they are okay with the standard, then go to the next one, then commitment to high quality practices even under time pressure. Even though there are time pressures, they will tend to do all these things, all of their works they will do even though in the time pressure. Increase business and customer understanding. So, increase the customer understanding and also the business, and focus on sustaining. So, in briefly that you got a small idea about this, then go to each of the phases in details. Characteristic. In the phase 1, there is ad hoc process. Lack of structure and uniform practices are there. It is one of the characteristics. Lack of structures. There are no very good structures in all, right. And uniform practices in regard to content development. When developing the content, there is no special structure, no standard likewise. There are no any standard. There are no any practices, that is special practices that they are doing, just they do the content. Writers are often hired. Oh, in this way, writers are hired. They do not do the content. Writers are hired, managed by someone from another field. And in order to manage this content, the person who are involved there is not an expert on that. He does not know the things. Sometimes the contents to be defined, has to be developed, and there should be instruction given to the content developer, that is outsourced, but the let us say accountant will give the required details. Does he has the required knowledge? No, he does not have the required knowledge in the content, he had the knowledge in the accountants industry, but he is giving the instruction and all the other information in order to develop the content. So, in this ad hoc phase, so you are not mature in this phase then, right. You are not a mature organization now in terms of content. So, lack of structures are, uniform practices are, writers are often hired, and also there is not an expert to do this one. And quality of writing is completely depend on the individual writer. The quality of the writing in the content writing, so there is a quality. When you develop infographics, or when you develop some case study, when you develop some the white paper, so whatever the newsletter, anything what you have developed, that should have a quality, and that quality will depend on each individual writers. So, today you hired a content to be done by someone, and you will feel that he will not be giving the content as required, then you will hire it to somebody else. So, today what you have developed from the content developer one will be very differentiated from the next day, because there is another content writer, he will develop the content according to his wishes. So, the capability of the content writers are differentiated. So, the content that they are developing also differentiating. So, quality also then get differentiated. Little or no opportunity to understand customer need. They do not understand the customer need, and there is no opportunity. They just think this is the content that we need, then they develop, because they are hired. Because if there is a special guy who are expert in marketing content, who is there as a marketing guy involved for this process, he will give so many instruction and get it done by these hired people. But in this process there is no such people, there is a person, but he is not an expert on that field. So, this is a ad hoc method. So, when you read in these features, you will be getting understand about this is an ad hoc featured phase, right. So, it is better you to remember these features when you compare the phases. So, phase 1 is there, phase 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So, these 5 phases have to be identified by you. Let us say that you have to think about it in this method. In the question paper they will say some example. According to that they will ask in which phase this organization is fitting into. Then you will have to understand this is in the phase 1, this is in phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 or phase 5, right. Most of the organizations are always optimistic, and they think, okay, I am in the phase 5, but it is not the true thing. They will be at the ad hoc phase. So, it has to be identified based on these characteristics, right. How do you identify that your organization is fitting into this phase? Based on the characteristics, based on the different characteristics, right. Now, you have identified these characteristics. So, it is easy for you to understand about this phase. How to advance to next stage? How do you go to next stage then? There is a stage 2. How do you go to this stage? Before you go to stage 2, you have to do this. Build cooperation. If you want to go to the next stage, what you have to do? You have to build up the cooperation among individual content developers. and assign a manager to initiate common processes and design. So, there is actually there is a issue behind this, but the issue is in this phase there is no manager, there is no any cooperations. So, you have to build up these things, then you can go to the next page. So, individually here says build cooperation among individual content developers. In the individual content developers, they must have a very cooperative relationship with each other, right. Let us say there is a one piece of paper kind of advertisement that you have to develop, but it can be developed by a graphic designer, can be a content writer, can be a quality assurance person. So, there can be so many people, but if they are not cooperating each other, what will happen is there will not be any content, very good content. So, in order to do that, actually there must be a very good manager to do that. Okay. Let us go to the rudimentary phase, that is phase 2. What are the characteristics of this one? Some content structures are in place. So, now there are structures, how to do those structures are defined. So, there are some structures, the content structures that are developed by the company. New management brings together formerly isolated content developers. Here we said that there must be a cooperation. So, they have built up the togetherness. So, now they are together, they are not isolated, now they are working like a team. Oh, now you have matured a little bit to this stage, so there is a little bit cooperation with them. So, that was done by the new management, right. Begins to implement quality assurance practices including copy editing, developmental editing and peer reviews. So, begins to implement quality audit. So, there are so many quality audits that is starting. So, it is at the starting age, begins to implement. So, they are now ready to implement the quality assurance practices. So, through the quality assurance practices there is a process involved. So, through that the content that someone is developing will be perused well, will be checked well. So, copy editing, developmental editing and also peer reviews, that one person will check the other's content whether it is done well or not, then they give a feedback. This kind of a peer review concept. And new practices are often abandoned under pressure of deadline. Oh, when you are doing these things, what will happen? There is a time pressure will come. Now the workload is increased, not like in this stage. So, in this stage we hired and also they did as they want. Now it is not like that, there is a quality assurance thing implemented. Now the content developers are working together. Now there are structures are in place. Now new practices are often abandoned under pressure of deadline, right, and constantly changing requirement. Now requirement are constantly changing, but people are resistant to change. You know what is the resistance is? They don't like to change, but in the organization there are some requirement to be done through the analytics. So, identify, so this content has to be changed, otherwise they will not be reaching the target market. So, then there are some requirement, then they said okay, you have to paste, you have to take a very new picture, not this picture, but you have embedded into the image article. So, you have to put a very new picture, but they do not like to change it. They want to keep the same thing that they were using. So, requirements are constantly changing. Every time it is changing, changing, right? And also there is a pressure of deadline. Now you have given a target to do it within a short period of time. but you cannot do it because there are so many elements involved in this cycle. So, you have to follow those things. So, requirements are changing, right. So, when you have to understand this characteristic and understand in whether your organization is fitting into in this phase. How to advance to next stage? How to advance then? Management need a firm commitment to implement and follow. Oh, management need a firm commitment to implement and follow standard template. So, there are some structures, say template and style guides and project workflow and project management practices are involved. So, now you have a little bit matured. So, your content is matured now. Now, you are handling the content very well, not very well, in a certain percentage that you are doing it, and the management needs a firm commitment to implement and follow. So, these things, standard templates, style guide, project work, there are some processes and things has to be implemented. So, management is mostly concerned about doing these things, they are following it up, right, for what? Going to the next stage. Okay. Now, you understand about what this stage is. Organized and repeatable. This phase 3 is organized and repeatable. Characteristic: majority of staff are committed to following uniform processes, template and standard. Now, here we introduce to follow this standard and templates. In this phase 3, now it is followed, right. And support of a strong leader who has a vision for the organization and sees the importance of content in achieving the vision. Now, there is a strong leader. So, strong leader is there, now they are developing the content through the vision of this leader. Planning and quality assurance activities are routine and incorporated into every project. Now, they have defined the required things, activities, and quality assurance processes are implemented. So, there are planning activities. Now, there is a routine kind of things. Now, you know how to do this. You do not want to ask about the color of the logo when you are developing the content, because you already know about that. And also the text and also font size and what are the colors to be used, all the things are you know, all the things you know. So, you do not need to ask from somebody else, because it is working like a routine basis now, because you have practice now. Opportunities are found to redesign legacy content. Oh, there can be very legacy content. Carry out customer studies and content testing and continuing education for staff. Now, in this stage, now your leader, because you have appointed, let us say you have appointed a very good CEO or director for content marketing. So, there is a director for content marketing, he has a very good vision. So, what he does is, he will manage the team and he have managed all the activities to be working as a routine basis, and then if there are legacy content, that is to be redesigned, and through his vision they will carry out the customer studies. They will search about the customer requirement, and based on the customer requirement the content will be developed. Sometimes your organization may have developed the content based on the very old statistics, right, but that statistic used for content marketing will not be suitable at this stage. So, you have to do customer study. Do what? Customer studies to understand, to develop the required content, and content testing. So, once the content is developed, you have to test it. You have to test it and see whether it is working or not. Let us say if you want to send a very bulk mail, one mail that goes to about 1000 people. So, when you send that, that will hit to them. Actually, they will see it directly, and then they want to see the content of that. The content that you are sending to those people via email, if it is not apparent to them, if they can see it visually, so there is no purpose of sending that. Before sending to them, you can test it. You can test it is working or not. And continuing education for staff. You have to continuously educate the staff. Let us say you are an accountant, but you are not practicing the accounting. What will happen later on? You will be forgetting the accountancy. You are an accountant at the initial stage, then you will become a finance manager, then you will become head of finance, then you will become the director of finance, then you become CFO, then you become a CEO, but you are an accountant. You do not know about accounting now because it is totally forget. But if you have a continuous education, and in CSE Lanka, there is a method called continuous professional development, CPD. It is for what? It is for the development of the professionals. Let us say accountant, if they are not working in the same place, so they will be reaching the ladder. So they will become very good CEOs later on. But they like the accountancy. That is why they are working in the accountancy field and involving for very much more things with the CSE Lanka, right. So, likewise the organization should give the required education for staff, then their knowledge, the staff knowledge will increase day by day. Okay. So, these highlighted things you can remember, you can learn about these things directly, because why I have highlighted these things, it is easy for you to understand, and then it automatically come to your mind when you read this one. How to advance to next stage? So, now we are on the stage 3, now we are going to go to the next stage, that is phase 3. So, if you want to do that, what are the things to be followed? Management need a firm commitment to follow high quality practices. So, now they are planning and implement the quality assurance practices. Now, they have practiced that. Now, they follow high quality practices, including project management practices, even under time pressure. Let us say under time pressure, how do you manage your workload? There is a mechanism that you can follow up. So, and also you have to have the very good quality. Even though you are in the time pressure, you cannot avoid the quality of the product. If you are avoiding that one, ultimately your product will be failing. Therefore, as a good person for the organization, you have to have very good quality product. You have to have very good practices in order to maintain the quality, and you have to follow the very good project management practices likewise. And actively evangelize for customer studies and take every opportunity to bring customer need into content development. So, you research and see the customer requirement, right. You research and see customer requirement, and you have studied. So, those customer requirement, those studies will bring to content development. When you are developing the content, those ideas, those requirements, those statistics, all those studies will be taken into consideration when developing the content. So, these are the two things that you can follow up in order to go to the next phase. Okay. We will go to the next phase then. Phase number 4, that is manage and sustainable. what are the characteristics of this? So, you have to understand the features of this and to see whether your organization is fitting into this phase. Leadership. Earlier we appointed a very good visionary leader, strong leader, right. Here what it says in this phase 4, leadership may change without a loss of commitment to planning, quality assurance, hiring, training and budgeting. So, in case the leaders join with other company, do you fail your products? No. In this phase, now you are matured. All of your workings, all of your content, now it is shared and there is a very good leadership. It is embedded in the process of the content development. Even though your leader is going out from the organization, there will not be any losses for the commitment that you do, because why? In these all phases, what you have done is you have built the cooperation, and also you have assigning managers, and also then the structures are in place, and also quality assurance are in place. Even though under pressure you know how to work, and even though the requirements are changing, you are not going to change and you are not resistant to change, and also implement the standard and template, everything are guided now. There's in here there are routine practices, and also uniform processes are templates are and standard are followed, and so content is tested. Now the all things are in the process, right. Even though the leadership is changed, the continuation of this process will not be on hold. So, they will continue the content development. Increasing sophisticated method of handling customer studies, need analysis, usability analysis and managing return on investment, ROI will also be considered at this stage. So, it is easy for you to understand by looking at this leadership. Especially, please remember about the special feature of this one, special characteristics. What is the special feature or characteristic? That is, even though the leadership change, there will not be any changes for your process. So, you will be committing well to do the planning, quality assurance, hiring, training, budgeting, everything you will be doing. And there are sophisticated method of handling customer studies. So, in this phase 1, so there are different method of handling the customer studies. So, you are doing is, now your practices, you have routine basis to do those things, and requirement analysis, that also will be done by your organization staff. So, even though the leadership is changed, they do not need to worry about that, because you know how to do those things. And usability analysis, how the customers are using it, whether using or throwing it away, and also how many users are there, and the users features, and their geographical factors, age wise factors, and everything you know now. And managing return on investment, and you are spending much more money for content development, but in return you should achieve something, that is ROI. For the investment, what is the investment? You are spending money for the content, and in return you will get something, that is the income. So, you are improving your product sales through content, then that is an investment actually. Recognized as effective by the large organization and often play a significant role across product design, marketing, support, sale and training. In this phase, so often plays a significant role across product design. So, when designing the product, from the initial stage, there is a very good planning. There are a very good sophisticated method and analysis are done. Everything are managed now. Now you know how to do the very good design. And marketing support. What the marketing support required for to market the content, and sales and training, and training also will be given to all of the staffs. Now this is a stage that now you are very much matured. How to advance to next stage? Leadership need to increase their business understanding and commitment to increase productivity. Now they are thinking of increasing productivity and cost reduction. Oh, here see, they are focusing on reducing the cost. So now you are expert on content development and you know how to develop a very good content and marketing. So all the content marketing strategies are implemented now. Now you focus on reducing the cost because you are experienced on developing the very good content with low cost. And customer satisfaction. So you are not now understanding the customer satisfaction and you are committed to understand those and align to strategies business goal. Now you are aligning with the business goal. The content that you are develop here will be aligned with the business goal. Before you develop a content and once it is tested, then you have, before it is to be developed, you are targeting a goal, that is the strategic business goal. Your organization may have a goal to achieve in next 5 years. So in order to achieve that goal in next 5 years, you must have very good content in place. So when you are developing a content, so your vision is to achieve that goal in within next 5 years. So based on that idea, so you are developing the content, right? So we will go to the phase 5, that is the optimized phase. Now you are a very good mature content person. So you know everything about content marketing, content development, how to analysis and everything you know. So we will see the these characteristic or the features of this phase 5. Actively involved in promoting the benefit of quality content throughout the organization. So you are promoting now, what is that? The benefit of quality content throughout the organization. Now you want to establish, embed this quality concept into the process, right? You are promoting it throughout the organization, you have in the quality that is required. Let us say that if you are a very newcomer to the organization, you may know about the quality of the organization, right? And you will be asking from the others and you will be practicing and see, oh, this organization is building up, producing very good products and it has very highest quality than any other product. So you know the benefit of those quality, right? So it is established and it is promoting now in the organization. The team acknowledge, embrace and foster community-based business analytics. So team is acknowledging, there is a team for this one, they acknowledge each other what they do and they embrace and fosters community based business analytics. Those there are so many analytics, so those are acknowledged by each of the team members. Content strategy is closely